So, because I was listening to, I wasn't listening to them actively, but they came up on the Spotify, 80s. And I was hungry like the wolf, dancing around in the kitchen, waiting for you to call. But you never write. You never call. No, still not. I'm going to keep recording anyway. I'm sure you'll figure it out. This is a podcast in which two friends talk about the pleasures, absurdities, and imperfections of being human. I'm Simon Ellis.
And I'm Lee Miller. Welcome to Midlifing. Hi there and hello.
Hello. I was just playing some music and doing a little bit of dancing in the kitchen.
That's nice. What were you playing?
Well, I was just explaining that to the listeners before you arrived.
Don't tell me then. Let me guess. You too.
Not a great dance band, you know?
I don't know. I think everything can be danced to if you really mean it.
No, it was close though. It was an 80s mix, and up came Duran Duran, Hungry Like the Wolf.
Wolves, they're always hungry.
I know. They were thinking hungry like. Do you think they were cycling through the various animals that it might have been?
Hungry like the pangolin? No, I don't think pangolins are famed for their hunger.
All animals, don't they? They all get...
Hungry, yeah, that's how they're built.
Yeah. So you've had a busy weekend.
Oh my goodness me, I've had a busy weekend, and you can probably hear scritchettiness in my throat from way too much talking.
Oh.
And probably a significant amount of booze as well. Yeah.
I just, I've been listening to some of our back catalogue recent, and it's quite a lot of it starts with one of us talking about what we're drinking.
I'm not drinking anything right now.
Neither am I, but it just made me think, it's pretty awkward that basically two white middle-aged men getting drunk, talking to each other, recording it, and
yeah.
I don't know, we should get the marketing people onto that.
Yeah, for sure. So I got an email.
Oh, you got an email?
I got an email from a listener. And it was a very, very long email.
Really?
Yes. I'm going to say taking me to task, but in a very gentle way.
It wasn't a complaint.
No, I don't think it was a complaint. It was was it qualifying? It was critiquing for sure what I said in last week's episode.
Have they listened to the very beginning when you were quite clear about not wanting any feedback? Episode 3.
Episode 3. No, maybe not. It wasn't feedback so much as it was wanting to put an alternative position forward relating to my response to the government's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. And what was interesting is it was a very long and detailed and heartfelt email of somebody who works in the NHS, from somebody who works in the NHS, and I could not disagree with a single dot above an I or a cross over a T. But what was fascinating was I don't think I said what they thought I said. And so I want to ask you, did you hear me say, I thought the government did a good job of handling the COVID-19 pandemic? Or did I say, I would have been fine even if the shit show of a government had taken even more of my liberties off me in order to protect us?
I heard the latter.
So there might have been something in my edit, or there might have been something in the ears that received what I was saying. I know we've had this conversation before about being in two different conversations at the same time.
We're always, I mean, that's just, I mean, I don't mean you and me, I mean, just everyone.
Yeah.
That's called being human.
But we talked about it specifically in relationship to the time that you were in a kind of an exchange with an Italian speaker, and there was a sense that... Do you remember?
No, I remember. Yeah, Stalky. Yeah. That was Stalky.
Well, the sense that...
It was a bunny burner moment.
We might want to roll back on that one. Because that's not how you positioned it the first time around.
Really?
Yeah, well, you said that that's fascinating, because that's
in my head,
how I remember it.
In my head, while I was having that conversation however many episodes ago, all I was trying not to say was bunny burner, bunny burner, bunny burner, and clearly it just came out now.
Yeah, because what you were really quite gentle about the sense that you don't know what cues you were laying down that encouraged somebody to think that you might have been interested romantically in them.
I mean, sure.
And then, recognizing that perhaps, we speak more than we mean to, or people hear with the ears that they want. And it was interesting that this listener's quite legitimate perspective was one of, it was really it was an interesting read, and I just thought, oh my God, did I, on an international, hugely successful podcast, say I thought that Boris Johnson and his bag of shit had done a good job? Because I really don't think they did. So if anybody heard that, I would like to unequivocally and avowedly let you know, I think they did a bad job.
I think they were at best inconsistent. It's like they didn't. I mean, and of course, it's easy in hindsight. That's the thing. That's it's quintessential 2020 hindsight, knowing what we know now. And of course, the science is constantly changing about what the vaccines are doing in relation to different variants. So it's not like it's
it's not an exact science, which is hilarious because it's an exact science. But you probably don't know this, but there's been a lot of stuff about Matt Hancock's leaked WhatsApp messages.
I didn't know that. I've just had a bit of news from a friend who lives in Sicily and who was just telling me the score of a football match, and with lots of exclamation marks. And I didn't even know that game was being played. So, yep, that's...
Well, Matt Hancock, look how I have to speak really slowly because I am so tired. Aww. We stayed up so late this weekend.
These with your other friends?
Yeah, I don't have, as we know, I don't have many, but we had friends staying.
Do these friends have children?
No.
Oh.
That would have been
Sorry
awful.
To accuse you of such a thing.
No, but by that would have been awful. What I mean is the children's sleep. And let me just clarify. The children's sleep would have been horribly interrupted by very, very late nights.
Oh, that's great. What a fun time, but now you're paying.
Oh, I'm paying for it now. They left midday-ish.
And you've been cleaning furiously?
No, I've just been walking around the house, like shuffling. Bob looking at me going, "You're quite tired, aren't you?" I can't stay up late. But I did make Yorkshire puddings for dinner, which was delightful.
Last night?
No, just now, because Bob said, I fancy Yorkshire puddings. It's quite nice to be able to go, well, I will make you Yorkshire puddings, Your Highness.
It's they're a hard thing to like. They're a strange bit of Englishness or maybe UKness that that's a tough line for me to cross. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
What? What's not to love about puffy batter, sort of cooked in fat in the oven, so they're like effectively the world's puffiest pancakes that you can pour gravy on? I mean, now I say it out loud, I recognise it doesn't sound good.
Yeah, I just don't Yeah. I mean, I guess I would eat them if I went round to a friend's place, if I were invited and he said, I'm going to make, what are they called again?
Yorkshire puddings.
Yorkshire
But don't worry,
puddings.
there's no invitation on the table. So
No,
you
no,
don't
no,
have to worry about
exactly.
these
And then
things.
I would definitely eat them
Yeah.
through gritted teeth, which is hard
Well,
to do.
it is, but my understanding is at various points in the mastication process, you do need to grit your teeth, otherwise you choke.
It's just if you keep them gritted, it becomes really
It's-
tricky.
yeah.
I mean, it's good for the gravy.
It's not a good delivery system, though, to just grit your teeth. I think we can just put a line underneath it, because what we can just safely say is, it's all shit, let's move on. Instead, tell me, Simon, how was your tree planting?
Oh, yes. So I spent last weekend, and perhaps half a day of work, planting trees on a section of land in Somerset, which apparently is very close to Bath and Bristol. I didn't know that. In fact, maybe Bath and Bristol are in Somerset.
Bristol is certainly in Somerset, and I would imagine Bath is, but I'm not a county expert.
Yeah, some friends who they've bought a bit of land with the idea of planting a whole lot of trees in it. And they asked me if I'd like, but we planted a lot of trees, and it was really, really fantastic. Just because, well, I mean, I don't, we've talked about this before. I don't have as physical a life as I used to, and it was so good to be outside all day and to see the sun shifting across the sky, and it was freezing because of the wind, but just to be sort of deep in outside and doing physical labor, and it was so tiring, and just that incredible pleasure I get, and I think I assume most people do, but maybe that's not true, of just collapsing in bed at the end of the day after such a long day's work, and then also wanting to really kind of push as well. Like, I was just really enjoying the sense of okay, more, and it was really fantastic.
Yeah, I think people who have to do that for a living don't fall into the bed at the end of the day thinking to themselves, oh, brilliant. I think they are probably thinking, God, I wish I was a dance academic and all I had to do was move some words around a piece of paper. Yes,
I can imagine that most people's aspirations end up at wish I were a dance academic. But yes, I also think if you're doing that all day, every day, you get a lot more efficient. I mean, I had some DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, and some pretty strange muscles, I have to say. Just little ones that I haven't used for a long, long time. But it was just fantastic. And then I did a bizarre jump cut into PhD supervisions 3 hours in a row in the afternoon. It was a little bit that's a shock.
Fun.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yes.
We've covered planting, which is great, but we had a very brief, tantalising exchange about your baking future.
Oh, it's like you've come with pre-prepared questions.
Well, it's more that I remember that historically we opened up a series of brackets between ourselves, and I was like, oh, Simon said he wanted to talk about that. We never did. Simon is going to do that. We haven't talked about. So I just thought I could gently return to it and say, tell me more about these nascent baking plans.
So they're a little bit more, well, they're still nascent, but definitely getting less nascent, firmer, stronger, clearer. Sounds like the $6 million man at that point. Firmer, stronger, clearer. We can.
Yeah. Steve Austin, astronaut, a man barely alive. Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. We have the capability to make the world's first bionic man. Steve Austin will be that man. Better than he was before. Better, stronger, faster.
Or that song.
Oh.
Faster, stronger, that one,
Yes.
I can't remember it. I'll put it in here.
Work it, make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger.
Okay, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Now, what was the...
I'm so glad I'll never get to listen to it. Oh no, maybe when I do the show notes. So what I've been doing, it's just because I've met a couple of people in this town who really like the bread, have been really encouraging me, and I just thought that I've been doing a lot of planning on what would be the sort of the least I could do, which has the least amount of risk, financial risk. I don't particularly want to sort of just drop a whole lot of cash, particularly because I want to keep my job as a dance academic. And so what I'm going to do, and it'll probably start, it'll probably kick in when I get back from Italy, is I'll just bake a few loaves a week on a Saturday morning. When I say a few, it'll be 10 to 20.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll all be pre-sold.
Ah, so like to order.
Yep. I'll bake to order, and then I'll have an upper limit. And I don't quite know, I haven't quite done the maths in terms of time, but I'm getting pretty good at, well, I've got a few options for that anyway. And then I'll just drop them down to there's a local store at the market who's very happy to sell the bread. And I've got a name, been working on a little logo. I'll deal with the website soon for orders. And so, yeah, it's going to be very, very small scale, And just so I can get a feel for how much need, are people into it.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, I've been looking at commercial properties to rent, and it's been great fun. It's really good fun. Actually, maybe the part of the story is not Simon's trying to start a micro bakery. And when I say micro, I mean like whatever smaller than micro is, microscopic bakery. And the thing that's been, which maybe is a more general thing to talk about, is just how much fun planning something like that has been and is. It's just such a pleasure. And I don't quite know what it is about the planning that's so pleasurable, but it is just tremendous. Like, it's really been exercising my imagination outside of work hours.
Oh, I love that, Simon. That really, really makes me happy.
Will you come and make croissant for it?
I will, if you would like me to. How about I do a micro batch of bagels, or barrels as they've been renamed in our house for some unearthly reason.
Barrels?
Barrels. I was making barrels this morning.
Oh, you don't know why they've been renamed barrels?
No, I think Bob just came downstairs and said, "Ooh, you've been making barrels," and she meant bagels, and it's stuck.
Yes, that'd be great. You could be like a guest baker.
I'd like that. That would be fun.
And then we'll turn the podcast into starting a business.
And then suddenly we'll make lawyer money because people will be like, well, if they can do a startup, I can do a startup.
But yeah, it's really, it'll be, very small scale. And then with a bit of luck, if there's enough interest, I'll get someone else to do the baking, because I don't want to quit my day job.
And you just said when you come back from Italy. Tell me more.
Oh, yeah, I go to Italy it was going to be Wednesday, but Eurostar cancelled my train because of strikes in France. So I had to do a lot of reshuffling and then missed out on something. And then I go on Thursday, I start that train journey and head to Milan for a night, then Rome for a night, then I get back to Sardinia for some work. And then I'm mostly on leave, actually. It's mostly on, got some research stuff in Sardinia, and then mostly on leave where a bit in Rome doing some language, and then down to Sicilia for Easter, and then back up home.
Oh, wow. So your Easter starts next week?
Well, like I say, I've got a couple of weeks research.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of, yeah. I guess you could, if you squinted.
Lovely. Yeah. Well, I'm going to squint. Yeah.
That's right.
That's
You squint
nice.
away, boy. You squint away.
I will. Well, I haven't got my glasses on, so I've got no choice.
So that's all my news. I'm by myself again. I have a flatmate every now and again. He's gone, so I'm back to toddlering, which is great. A little cold.
It's not.
But
we're not quite in toddler season.
We're really not in toddlering season, and so yeah, it's nice to just sort of spread out.
Sorry, I was thinking toddlering. So yeah, it is nice to spread out.
I got that.
Yeah. Have we ever explained that on the podcast?
What toddlering is?
Toddlering.
I'm pretty sure we have.
Okay,
and
good.
that you have
I don't know what
particular... Yeah, look, you have to listen to them all to find the...
Yeah, and if we haven't...
The show notes...
info at midlifing.net, we'll explain it, but not now.
Not now. And... Oh, go on.
No, go ahead.
Well, one of the things that happened while... unless you've got something else you want to ask me. This is a feeling...
I wanted to tidy up.
Oh, go on.
No, I wanted to tidy up. I just wanted to get the the bits and pieces that have just sort of slipped down the sofa of our minds.
Yes, I did. Actually, I was thinking that maybe I should save what I was going to save it till we speak on Wednesday. Not that we need to include the day of the week, because there's some length there, length and girth to that conversation.
Oh, well, we definitely don't want anything lengthy or girthy right now, because we're already coming up towards the end.
Are we really?
No, but we're at 24 minutes, so we don't want to, we don't want to open up something that could potentially be a rich seam to mine. Let's save it for Wednesday.
I think we should do that.
Okay.
Do you know, one of the things I've been, go on.
Go on what? I literally have nothing to say. I was tidying up bits in sort of parentheses, and you were going to tell me something. So
okay,
go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Okay, so this is a little bit of I don't know what to think about this, but I thought it reminded me of something. It's something you told me years ago, and because you've taught a lot of stuff about sex and performance, can you explain what that might mean? Teaching people about sex and performance.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the Daily Mail headline of it.
Yes.
So I have...
It's my go-to newspaper that's the newspaper I first don't read in the morning.
Next time on Midlifing.
And because I remember you saying with a certain amount of... I think you even said, I feel proud of this, and which is... Well, so you would have been a lot younger. So you would have been in your 30s for sure, probably even early 30s. And, so a lot of young people, you were teaching this, youngers, meaning sort of early 20s, late teens, who were being quite, let's say, open about their sex lives in the context of this particular module. And I remember you saying something like that you took a certain amount of pride in young women who ended up dumping their boyfriends as a consequence of doing the module because they realized that they were being objectified. Is that I know? Have I conflated?